Hello everyone, and Andrew here, and today I want to talk about something a little bit different. So it's not a tutorial this time. I want to talk about the importance of doing personal work, personal projects. I feel as a professional that it is, especially as a professional, that it's very important that you do personal projects. Why would I say that? So the reason why, there's a few reasons why it's really important to do personal projects. One of the big ones is not becoming burnt out in your work. So when you first get into doing something like photography or something creative as a job, it's very easy for it to become just a job, just a chore. I mean, when you before it's a job, it's a passion, it's a hobby, it's something you love doing. But when you turn it into a job, there's a very real danger of it becoming a chore and something you don't really want to do. So that when you get home, the last thing you want to do is pick up a camera or a pencil or your instrument, whatever it is, and actually do something with that. You just want to sit in front of the TV or relax or whatever. So it's very important that you don't lose that passion. Now, so in order to avoid that, you kind of need to do something which kind of stimulates you and makes you want to do more and better work. Because if it does become a chore, if it does become something you don't really want to do, then your professional work will suffer because of that. So if you lose that passion, then when you go out and you do a job for a client, you're not going to be as kind of caught up in it and as passionate about it, and so your creativity is going to go. And it's something I have personal kind of experience with, because I was an illustrator for many years, and I moved to London from the Midlands for a job, and for a few years it was great, but over time, due to various reasons, the workplace and whatnot, it became a chore. It became a job, something I didn't want to do, and so my work suffered. The ideas went away, and I ended up suffering the consequences of that. At the same time, I mean, photography was coming along, and ever since then, because I know the dangers of that, I've strove to kind of always kind of keep a personal interest in it. So do some things, creative. Do something creative with my photography, and so that is one of the big reasons why it's really important, especially in the creative industries, to do something for yourself, not just for clients. But there's other reasons. There's another big reason, to do that kind of work as well, and that's because it can really help your career. It can be something which is your calling card. So when I say, it's important to realise what I mean when I say a personal project. And excuse my French, I don't mean just going out with a camera and just fucking about. I don't mean just randomly taking pictures, just taking the camera on a walk or whatever, and just doing random things. Because you're always going to find in photography, you're always going to find things you want to take photos of. But that's not a personal project. That's just messing about. So you need to do more than that. You need to really think about what it is you want to do, and you need to think about kind of long term. So you need to think, within my career, what is the type of work I want to do? What is the type of work that really inspires me, that really gets my my adrenaline pumping? And that is what you want to do personal projects based on. because when you do that, that passion, that creativity, it shines through your work. It's something you want to put front and center on your website or, you know, in your marketing, because again, that creativity will show through. And if you love it, there is always going to be other people in the world that love it too. And those are the people that will hire you to do, you know, the commercial jobs, the jobs which, you know, you probably wouldn't necessarily put in your portfolio because it's not necessarily exactly what you want to do, but it's work. And that is why it's really important to do, you know, personal projects. A, to keep you creative, and B, to really kind of get, you know, to get you more work, because that is where your creativity and your passion will shine through. So I've got some examples. So I found this interview here with a Australian photographer who is called Alexia Sunclair. And in this interview, she talks about this. And the question here is, it looks like your career skyrocketed after you create a few elaborate personal projects. Would you recommend emerging photographers to invest more of their time into working on personal projects? And she says down here that shooting personal projects is so important because it tells your clients the kind of work you like to be producing, which is very often different to the work you do commercially. It's your portfolio or award-winning pieces that build your name and or brand, and hopefully give you the power to shoot projects for other people in the style you prefer, which is exactly right. And you know, that is the type of thing which it gets you work. And so there's other photographers here that I'm going to talk about. This is Glyn Dewis's website here, and he does a lot of personal work, and you know, shares, you know, the behind the scenes and how it works with those that follow his work. And yeah, he you know, there's a post here about getting inspired to work on a personal project, and he agrees, you know, that it's, you know, this is, you know, the work you do to put yourself front and center and, you know, sell yourself with, and you know, it's really important. So this is from the interview here. This is Alexia's website, and the personal work she was talking about, it was her project, the Regal 12, and so this is a big project. This is something she did. I would recommend kind of, you know, people to do, to really think about something in a lot of detail. You know, and when I say a personal project, it's not. It can be something quite small, but you know, push yourself. You ought to do something big. And in this, she did a project where she produced kind of 12 artworks based around well-known kind of historical figures. So Alexander Romanov here, Marie Antoinette with the cake, you know, and that kind of thing. And it's this work that brought her, you know, Elizabeth I there, you know, other work, and brought a lot of interest in her work. And so, I mean, these are huge kind of projects where, you know, she spends an awful lot of time on them, but they look elaborate. But you know, you can do them very, very cheaply. You don't have to spend a huge amount of money. You can do these extraordinarily cheaply, and you know, these are composite works. So you know, some of these, you know, probably shot with different in the studio with different backgrounds, you know, and you know, things were composited in. So, but you know, each one, you know, you can see there's a lot of work that have gone into these. And you know, it's through doing this that she's gotten work with various fashion magazines and other things. Her work's been featured, and she sells it. You know, which is, you know, awesome. This is great. Here's someone else, a UK-based photographer who basically did similar thing. She produced a series of kind of projects based around themes, and spent a lot of time. She's these have taken years to produce. These are long-term projects, and you can see the passion and the creativity that have gone into these things, and it really, really shines through. And here's Josh Rossi, a photographer over in the States, I believe, and this is his 1960s spy series that he produced, which was a personal project for him, and I believe has served him well in getting work. And this is great. He's tried to tell a bit of a story with these. You can see the composites, but they look great. They're excellent. And so I suppose this is what I'm doing with my kind of superhero stuff. It's all about that kind of just doing something that I love, that I really enjoy, and hopefully in the long term it'll serve me well. It's really important that you do that. It keeps you interested, it keeps you fresh and vital. So I would highly recommend that you have a long, hard think about your work, where you want to go, and the work you want to produce, and then make steps towards that, whatever it may be. Whether it's a little project that takes a couple of months, or a big project that's going to take you a few years to do. Whatever it is, that's what you should do, and that is what you should put front and center, on your portfolio or your website or that kind of thing. And if you love it, other people will love it too. So that's all for now, and I'm sure I'll be back with tutorials and the usual things in the weeks to come. And so thank you very much. Remember, if you want to support me, then I would that would be gratefully appreciated, and you can do that through my Patreon page, and that means I can do more of this kind of work. And I've got plenty more work to come. I was at London Super Comic Con at the weekend, and got some great photos, which I'm really looking forward to turning into kind of artworks. So look out for those in the weeks and months to come. And lastly, please subscribe. So if you like this, you want to see more videos, you want to see tutorials, that kind of thing, subscribe, and that will help me out massively. Really, really help me out. So subscribe, and tell your friends, and that would be great. So thank you very much.